Can we cut that?
No.
Well, here we are.
Welcome to the squad, Betty.
I'm still not at the big boy table.
Oh my God. Like comedy hour at the time.
I can't argue with that because I can tell you, my 10-year career, I've only met two.
What?
Get out of here. I wish you guys could have seen what just happened. I mean, it was like Craig and Smokey.
At any point in time, it gets crazy. Hey, I'm a for service and walk out. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't even work here.
Right. What building is this?
GalaxyCon! Raleigh Convention Center. What's going on, everybody? We are back.
So I think we just scared Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Major, I'm sorry.
Look, her
Sergeant Major, you
face,
did
her
this
face
yesterday.
right
You
now.
were ready.
We really got to give people a
You
heads
were
up before
there.
we do this. Because
Sergeant Major, come on.
like you're the third person we've scared today on our podcast.
This poor kid was playing Modern Warfare, and we scared him out of his shoes.
It was not pretty.
I thought it was hilarious.
He jumped like 5 feet off the ground.
I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. Are you okay? But in the back of my mind, I am rolling.
He's probably not fit for.
He
the
probably went
military.
home.
He's probably crying right now. It's fine. It's fine. What is up, though? We
Day
are back.
3 of GalaxyCon.
Yes,
Saturday.
This place is bumping.
This is a goat rodeo. Oh my gosh. There's so much going on.
If you are coming to GalaxyCon today, I don't know if you are out there, but if you are coming to GalaxyCon and you want to find parking, go ahead and leave now.
No. You should have left yesterday.
Yeah, I heard parking opened up next door.
Oh,
so,
did they?
Yes.
Oh, good. I highly suggest Uber or Lyft, honestly, because
This
dang.
place is shoulder to
shoulder.
with COVID.
Restrictions. People are masked
in
up.
place.
Some people are not, but most people are masked up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people actually wearing masks. I am really impressed with the amount of
absolutely
care people are taking in regards to other people. So yeah, but yes, this is fun. This is great. There are so many people here, and we have a new guest on our podcast.
A very special guest.
I'm excited for this one because at one point I wanted to be this dude's job.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to do this. When I first came into the Army, this is actually what I wanted to do. Except I wanted to go into combat and do all sorts of cool guy stuff and then do that. So that people are like, oh, you used to do that and now you're this?
Now, before we introduce this gentleman, this officer, this soldier, do you know the guy down at Charlotte Company?
There's a lot of people in Charlotte.
You know
Company.
what the specialist of this field, the guy down at Charlotte Company?
Nope. The
We gotta
religious
talk
affairs
offline.
specialist?
Yes.
Yes, because if you have any military experience, they're not chaplains assistants anymore.
Well, we kind of just
they
spoiler
are
alerted.
religious affairs specialists. But anyway,
But you
now
don't know
that I've
you don't know who I'm talking about.
I don't. We'll have to
we'll
talk
talk offline because that guy is
offline.
amazing. Other than that, we're going to sit here. We are super duper excited to have Chaplain of Use K-Pop.
Use K-Pop.
Major
Use K-Pop. Use K-Pop.
Here we
use
go.
K-Pop.
Yes. Say
Welcome,
hi.
sir.
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you.
Oh, dude, you
Yeah.
got a cool veteran combat patch. What is a cactus? What is that?
It's a cactus.
You noticed my combat patch?
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Yes, it's a Socorro Cactus.
What unit is that?
So this Socorro Cactus catch is
A Pactus catch? Try that again.
Socorro
The-
Cactus patch.
Yes. So the Socorro Cactus patch hails from the Midwest, originally an active duty patch back in World War II.
Wow.
And
Whoa.
after they decommissioned it, it sat dormant for a while, and then the reserves resurrected it and
Yeah,
brought it back to the
there it is.
Midwest.
Yeah, I thought it was a reserve patch.
Yes.
Wow.
It's definitely not a Kentucky patch. We don't have cacti.
No. Did you know that Sergeant First Class Briley is the great-grandson of Colonel Sanders?
I have stopped telling people that. I'm not.
No
I'm from
way.
Kentucky, so that's why he tells everyone that. Did you watch the Colonel Sanders love special on
Was that Lifetime?
at Christmas?
I did not.
You should check it out. It's
Yeah,
a
I
good
did
15
not,
minutes
no.
short. If you have not seen the KFC love special from last Christmas,
My
great.
goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
biggest, corniest thing.
It was a 20-minute
who
long
was it?
soap opera commercial.
Who
It was
was
hilarious.
That was the main guy. I
Mario-
Mario Lopez.
Yes.
Played a buff Colonel Sanders. It's hilarious.
I can't
Hey,
remember
that
what it was
works.
called.
A recipe for disaster. That's what it was called.
Was it a recipe for disaster or a recipe for love?
I think it was. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look.
You know what?
I watched every minute of that 15 minutes, and it was the best moment of my life.
Let me tell you, we are
That
at
sounds
a
like a
world
great
record
time.
for jumping off the rails. We're 5 seconds into this podcast, and we're completely going backwards.
Anyway, yes,
Ladies and gentlemen,
back to Major Cox.
Chaplain Major Cox.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, great to
thank
be
you.
here.
Great to have you in the squad bay.
What do you think of GalaxyCon so far?
Goodness.
Are you a nerd? Is it no offense
Yeah,
to
it's
anyone
okay.
on the podcast?
You know,
I apologize.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd
Well,
too. I'm a Trekkie.
You're a Trekkie?
I'm a Trekkie.
Okay.
I'm a Hobbit
All right.
guy.
And a Hobbit guy.
I like Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons.
I like dressing up as an army guy.
I've done
Okay.
that too.
You done that too?
So
All right.
Major Ravenel
Yeah.
is dressed up as an army soldier today.
There we go. So my first time being at one of these.
Nice.
Man, it
It's a
is
punch in the
packed in
face,
here
right?
today.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It's crazy.
I thought there'd be a few folks here today, but
That's
there's
what
a few
Thursday,
folks.
Yeah.
there's a few folks
Yeah.
here. It's a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of costumes, lots of guys, gals just soaking in the sights
And everything in
visiting
between.
Everything.
Everything
Yeah.
in between, guys and gals as well.
That is true.
That is true.
That is true.
You know what? You just smile and nod your head and say, you know what? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're having a good time.
I mean, all kinds of swag that's being given out and things that you can buy. I mean, there's comic books all over the place, action
Toys.
figures,
Yep.
toys for the kids. Gotta love it. Gotta love something like
Glassware,
this.
professional wrestlers, Captain Kirk, dogs and cats getting along.
James
amazing.
E. Kirk.
It's amazing.
James Tiberius Kirk.
Okay, so we basically discussed GalaxyCon. Let's talk more about Major Cox here.
You.
Major Cox, you are a chaplain, which makes you a religious counselor. And I noticed that you wear a Christian cross over your right pocket or
That's
your
correct.
right name tape. So I want to assume that makes you a Christian preacher, pastor, priest.
Christian chaplain.
Christian
Yes,
chaplain.
That's correct.
Okay.
Preacher,
Yep,
pastor,
that's
priest.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what most folks don't know is that all chaplains, regardless of what their individual faith is, you go ahead and tell them.
Okay. Hey, I'll steal your thunder.
No, it's not
Steal
my
that
thunder.
Steal thunder.
Thunder
Hey,
thief.
so yeah, as a chaplain, we identify with a specific faith group, but yet we also share compassion and are considerate to those that may not share any faith at all, and those who do not hold to our denomination. So just because you're a different denomination that I am, or that you don't even hold to a religion, all chaplains will still provide advice and assistance, whatever you're going through.
Right.
We can help with that counseling and advice.
Now, Major.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question: when you address a chaplain, so when I go over to Command Sergeant Major Ravenel, I say, "Hey, Command Sergeant Major,
Yeah.
do people need to address you as brother, preacher, father, sir, chaplain? I mean, it's just like addressing a
Brother.
military.
What's up, brother?
Hey, just like addressing a military judge, sometimes you call him Your Honor.
I'm gonna.
That's right.
Good
That's
morning,
right.
brother.
No, that's a good point. That's
So,
a good point.
what do people call you?
Usually it's chaplain.
Chaplain.
Yeah.
Chaplain.
There it is.
Chaplain.
Chaplain.
A lot of times I'll get called major, and hey, I'll go with that too. Major. But if they know who I am, they'll usually just call me chaplain.
Very cool.
Chaplain.
Very
So-
cool.
Chaplain
So
Cox.
it's that's completely appropriate in the military to call your chaplain chaplain.
So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the faith counseling services, now as a chaplain, you just mentioned that if someone comes to you from a faith that is not yours, that you obviously will provide compassion and counseling.
Absolutely.
Are chaplains required to go through training to understand the tenets of other religions? So if they have like if a person who practices Judaism comes to you and says, "I have a question about my faith. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do," are you an expert in that as well?
Yeah.
Or-
So all matters religion, all matters dealing with spirituality. We are that SME. We're that subject matter expert.
Wow.
Providing the free exercise of religion for our soldiers and advice to the command.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
here's a question, which you may not know the answer to. That's okay.
Okay.
How many?
I'll let you know if I don't know.
That's fair. So there's obviously the Christian type chaplain. How
Sure.
many different denominations can a chaplain like fall under? Like, so I guess like there's Christian, there's like
There's Judaism.
Judaism,
Okay,
there's
so-
Hindu, there's
Oh yeah.
so
yeah.
there's know how many
There's
there
Catholic
are.
and there's Protestant.
Yeah. There.
And is there like a restriction? Like, no, we don't have that here. We're sorry. You're gonna need
So-
to find the Marine Corps.
No, and the Marine
wow.
Corps does not have chaplains.
Bringing in the Marines into this.
He's a Marine.
I'm a Marine Corps
Ooh.
veteran. He likes to rail on me for that.
Okay.
But he throws
That
me a
makes
few
sense.
crayons every now and then,
I
and
do.
so I
Okay.
start snacking. So it's all good.
Oh, that's what those are right there.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So if somebody were interested in coming in as a chaplain, because I mean, I got questions all the time as a recruiter, like, hey, how do I become a chaplain?
Yeah.
So, like, what are the different routes, or like, what are different denominations? Like, is there a restriction or anything like that?
So there are hundreds. In fact, I believe there's over 200 different denominations. And so this great United States is broken up into 6 different recruiting categories.
Yep.
And we have recruiting centers dedicated solely just to recruiting chaplains.
Yep.
So my best advice is to, reach out to your local recruiters, and then those local recruiters can pass your information on to the regional chaplain recruiter. Yeah.
There you go. If you're out there in that audience and you want to become a chaplain, one of my old buddies which again, I think Chris can attest to me. I wanted to be a chaplain for the longest time in my career. Yeah. I had a buddy who was my platoon sergeant in the Army. Never thought he'd be a chaplain. He hit me up one day. He was like, hey, you're a recruiter, right?
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah. He was like, how do I become a chaplain? I was like, nice. Great question. Why do you want to be a chaplain? But I was like, hey, no judgment for me. So,
hey, and you can go through the local recruiter. You can Google Army chaplain.
Yeah.
And like one of the first top 2 hits that come up is the Army recruiting website.
Right.
So they've got a great website that you can look at, go to, and find out where the recruiter is in your area.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool function.
I didn't know there were that many denominations in the military.
Yeah. So speaking of the denominations, so here's my question: over 200 denominations.
Yeah.
Does the Army have, like, if someone comes to them and says, hey, you know what, I want to be a chaplain. I'm a Buddhist. Can I be a Buddhist chaplain? Is there we have 10 defined chaplains who can learn the other denominations? Or if somebody just comes up and says, I'm a druid, or I'm of a nature church or something like that. Uh-huh. Do they have those too?
So what I require is an ecclesiastical endorsing agency, and that's a $50 word.
Right.
That means that I have to have somebody that guarantees that I am the faith background that I am.
Right.
And so there are Buddhist endorsing agencies, at least one that I know of.
Right.
And so if you or somebody in your command, or maybe somebody listening today wants to be a Buddhist chaplain, then they can talk to the recruiter. And a lot of times the recruiters have those contacts of the ecclesiastical endorser that would represent that denomination.
Right.
That's fantastic. And just so we're clear, is that the Army it's becoming more and more inclusive every day. And I don't believe that there's a single religion that they're just going to say, hey, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
And they'll make accommodations to your religion, because we have Sikh soldiers who have beards and turbans.
That's right.
We have a Norse soldier with a beard.
Yes,
that's wonderful.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Wow.
Yes,
of the beard.
You can be jealous. I'll tell you what. Just get GS as soon as you can. You can grow it out.
Look, I'm trying 7 more years.
7 more years.
So
there are religious accommodations
yes.
that the chaplains have a hand in blessing off on. But yeah, there's all kinds of denominations that can be represented in the Army, and chaplains are there to support those different denominations there.
Now, Major, not only do you provide services in the religious counseling, you can provide services in other types of counseling as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's some different financial counseling that we can plug our soldiers into. If a soldier comes into me and says, "Hey, chaplain, man, my money just isn't going as far as it needs to go," we can absolutely hook them up with some financial counseling services, or we're usually able to provide some of our own financial counseling.
Right.
There's family counseling. There's marital counseling.
So pretty much you're the go-to of taking care of soldiers.
If we are a conduit,
right,
and we work for the command
in the right place.
Absolutely. That we don't have all the answers, but
Right.
you know,
You know where to
it's
find
like
them.
Yeah, you know where
anything
to
in
find
life. Hey, you got to know where to find it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll help the soldiers out to find those answers that they're looking for.
Now, Major, were you a religious leader before you joined the Army, or did you join the Army to become a religious leader?
Now that's a good question. So before I joined the Army, I was a pastor.
Okay.
And so I gave up my pastorate to become a chaplain. But yet I am still a pastor to the soldiers.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So sometimes church, sometimes like most every unit has a chaplain, but then there are also chapels on base.
That's right.
So do the unit chaplains man those chapels, or does those chapels have their own dedicated chaplain?
So, like, for instance, from down at Fort Bragg,
There's a billion chapels.
there are all kinds of chapels.
No
and so,
kidding.
And so, as a chaplain coming into Fort Bragg, then you start the process of ministering in one of those chapels. So it's a great ministry opportunity where you can serve your soldiers and have the opportunity to preach to all those soldiers
And their
then-
families.
and their families. They can bring their families to chapel, and so great opportunities on post at those chapels.
And then do you further then go directly to a unit, or are you part of a unit while you're there? Or
Yeah,
how's that?
so as a chaplain, you are a battalion chaplain first, and then specifically on Sundays or Saturdays or whatever your faith group tradition typically holds their services, then that battalion chaplain or that brigade chaplain,
Yep.
then they find a chapel that they're comfortable with. I don't want to say that they're assigned to, but a chapel that they are.
Suits their needs.
That suits their denominational faith background.
Yep.
And so they serve at one of those chapels, but yet they are assigned to their battalion, their brigade,
Yep.
wherever the Army places them, and then they can minister at the chapel.
Yep.
The Saturday, Sunday, through their Bible studies, whatever studies that they may be getting to partake in throughout the week.
And then ultimately what happens when that unit gets deployed? They're not going to that chapel anymore.
That's right.
So when a chaplain is deployed, how does that change?
So for the chapel, there's a number of chaplains that would fill in for that deployed chaplain and provide for the ministries at that chapel. And one of the unique things about the Army chaplain, and I'll tell you, this is one of the reasons why I joined the Army chaplaincy versus some of the other branches. But where my battalion goes, that's where I go.
Right.
So when my battalion deploys,
You're right there with them.
I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the Army. As a pastor, I can be right there with my folks.
Yeah.
I can be right there with my command. And to me, there's nothing better than that.
So you
That's
mentioned
amazing.
that I'd like to back up because you mentioned the reason why you chose the Army over some of the other branches. So can you tell us like a little bit how you got to where you got into the Army chaplaincy program? Like, because I'm going to mention another thing too. You're in the Army Reserve.
That's correct.
So, which is what I am. I hear you're an AGR guy.
Yes.
And so I'm
that's
an
right.
AGR guy.
Okay.
So I would love to hear your side of like how you got, why you chose the Reserve and like how it benefits you today.
Oh, wow. How much time do we have?
As much time as you need.
All day. Let's see. We're at probably like,
Until Major Delpesh starts getting a little sweaty
Yeah,
over there. and wants you back.
Until I get reined back in.
yeah.
Okay, so when I was determining my calling for ministry, and I was deciding on which seminary to attend, I found out about this thing called the Chaplain Candidate Program.
Yep.
And so it's a cool Army program, and I guess some of the other branches have it too. But I was drawn to the Army Chaplain Candidate Program, and I was able to attend seminary at the same time that I was in this Chaplain Candidate Program.
Yep.
And so what that allowed me to do was find out what it meant to minister in the Army while I'm getting my education.
Mhm.
And so as a chaplain candidate, you can attend battle assemblies on the weekend. You can attend training with your unit. Some of our chaplain candidates are able to go to special practicums. As a chaplain candidate, I was able to go to jump school. And so
we'll come back to that one.
So that was just, thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to go.
Yeah.
And it just opened up so many doors for me to be able to minister and to where the Army's led me.
Right.
So yeah, it was, while I was in seminary, I was in the chaplain candidate program and just learning about the Army. And the cool thing about the Canada program was that there were no strings attached.
Yep.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? It's like there's nothing in this world anymore that has no strings attached. But as a chaplain candidate, if I felt that once I completed my Master of Divinity, completed my degree, that I was not being called into the Army ministry, then I could say, hey, this is not for me.
Wow. I didn't know that part.
And hey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
There's no strings attached. And
Wow.
it really was the case.
That's like the only Army program where there's no commitment required.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And so that,
Crazy.
I didn't believe it at first, but then, hey, I am living, breathing proof that is the case.
Yeah.
I could have backed out, but I chose not to. I chose to, once I completed my degree, come into the Army Reserves as an Army chaplain, and shortly thereafter found myself getting prepared to go downrange as the chaplain goes with their battalion where their battalion goes, and that's right where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is why I signed up, to go downrange, to minister where service members, where my command could need me the most.
That's awesome.
Now, as an airborne chaplain, is it true?
Airborne,
Is it true that everybody believes in a higher power as soon as they jump out of the plane?
Well, that's what I'd like to believe. Yes, Mr. Hall. That's what I would like to believe.
Fantastic.
It's jumping out of the you putting your feet and knees to the breeze. That was an airborne
reference
awesome.
Right there. That was an idiom
Right.
I've never heard. Feet and knees to the breeze.
Feet and knees to the breeze, my friend.
That's fantastic. I like that one.
Yes, and just keep your feet and knees together when you get close to the ground, and gravity will take care of the rest.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So as we do on our podcast, one of the things we really enjoy doing to share with the guests and the listeners, we like to put a touch of humanity on every single person in the green suit. So we're going to ask you a couple of little questions.
Deep questions.
Very, very
deep.
Why? You might need to think about these for a second.
Oh my.
Major Cox, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Oh, well, one thing I really like to do is I've got a lot of kids in my family, and so I like to play games with my kids. We like to go hiking. We like to go fishing, and I am one of those football guys. I love watching football.
NFL or college?
Football.
I really enjoy watching college.
Yes.
Okay.
And those college
football.
athletes, watching them on Saturdays, just lay it all out there.
Yeah.
And which university?
Pouring their heart and soul into
Which
it.
university do you support?
University of Kentucky.
Really?
No, I'm not from Colonel Sanders' neck of the woods, so no, I'm not a Colonel Sanders fan. So growing up in the Midwest, the Big Ten was my cup of tea.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, man. You better have a run game. But I am a Iowa Hawkeyes fan through and through. So
all right,
go Hawkeyes!
Go
Give
Hawkeyes.
a shout out to my all my Hawkeye friends out there today.
My former company XO, and who became CO, which is weird because he was a chief warrant officer, 100% Hawkeye fan, and the former CO
All right, go Hawks.
was a Husker.
Yes. Oh,
And so they butted heads a lot.
Ooh.
Sure did.
Yes, I bet.
Okay, now second deep question.
Going deep.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this. So
Prepared.
I am a sucker for a good cheeseburger.
Oh.
Okay, cheeseburgers.
so that comfort food.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes, and if there was a second best food, it'd be cheeseburger with fried mushrooms.
Yes.
Cheeseburger and fried mushrooms.
Yes.
But those fried mushrooms cost me a couple extra miles of runtime.
That's fine.
Yeah, so
So
that's
I
okay.
only get those every once in a while.
I love mushrooms. My wife hates them. Love them.
Oh yes.
This
Yeah,
has been
good
great.
times.
This
Yeah,
has
this
been
has
great.
been fun.
Do you
Thank
have
you for
anything
coming
you
on.
want to share? Does
Yeah.
any kind of message that you want to push out there about the Army, about the chaplaincy, or
Last words of wisdom.
yeah, anything that you just want to share? You can say, "Go Hawkeyes." I don't care.
Oh.
This is your time.
Well, hey, appreciate you guys having me today to talk a little bit about the chaplaincy, about the chaplain corps. We've got a great Army, and we've got many great chaplains and chaplain opportunities to support all these great soldiers that are coming into the Army. I am blessed to serve with a great command. I serve under USA KPOC, United States Army Civil Affairs Psychological Operations
Tongue
Command.
twister.
Yes, very, very much a tongue twister.
You're
but
like our 9th use of K-pop guest.
Yeah. We like you guys, apparently.
Hey, it's a great place to be. We've got a really good mission. We've got a lot of great people, and I think we've got a future that is really bright. And it's great to be a supporting element to that. And as a airborne paratrooper, we get to work and minister and jump out of airplanes and helicopters and all kinds of cool stuff, just like our CA and PSYOP
Yep.
folks.
Fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
it's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Major
That's
Cox,
excellent.
you said you're blessed. Well, we were super blessed to have you as a
Yes.
guest on our
Oh,
program.
pleasure.
guys.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
great
you guys
time.
are fun.
But
You're really great
GalaxyCon's
on
not
camera.
over.
I gotta say, he's really great on camera.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, you
and
did a good job.
podcast.
Yeah,
You should start
Oh,
your own
wow.
podcast if you haven't.
Hey,
Hey, you
I
know
think
what?
You're great at this.
You can reach the masses.
Yeah.
hey, only a few more years to go, and hey, the Army may say, "See y'all later." So hey,
Bye.
maybe this is
You
something.
never know.
You never know.
But we're not gone just yet.
No,
we got a couple more
we're not.
podcasts to do, and there's one more day tomorrow. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I will be here later today. It's almost time for MRE Live Reaction. But until then, we'll see you soon. GalaxyCon deuces.
Later.